So once again, not once again, once again, in the great words of Chris Jericho, we are back on the Undisputed Goat Podcast, man. I'm here with the world famous panel, man. And look, it's been a crazy week in the world of sports, man. It's been a crazy week in the world of sports, man. It's been a crazy week in the world of sports. And man, in that game seven last night just couldn't be beat, man. It just couldn't be beat. So look, let's just get right into it, man. I'm here with the world famous panel, and it's time to get into it, man. How you doing, Flash?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I can't complain. It's been Game 7 was phenomenal, even though the outcome wasn't what I wanted. But to talk about absolute pure cinema, life in general is pretty good. Can't complain. Got a promotion at work and had a pretty lady smile at me at the gym, so I really can't complain too much this past week. So, doing pretty good. Other than that, how about you?
I'm good, man. I'm just ready to get into it, man. I can just, I'm, I'm look. I want to personally thank y'all because y'all know you and BRF know how I am about baseball. I don't watch baseball that much unless the Braves are playing. I'm a homer just that bad when it comes to baseball. But that was one hell of a game. That was one hell of a game. I
Oh
paid.
God.
And look, I'm gonna just go ahead and spill the beans. Do you know that World Series had 40,000 more viewers than the Super Bowl?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's great. I think that's something that I mean, I'm sure everybody kind of wanted to see the Dodgers lose. This is why it goes to my point of that sports needs a villain. As
Mhm.
much as I hated seeing the Dodgers win last night, uh, having a great villain in sports, it brings in the viewers. It's the Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul, New York Yankees, Los Angeles Lakers, New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs. You want to see the greats or the villains get knocked out, and so that's good. That's that's a topic that we could kind of cover at some point in the NBA and why their viewership is down. There's lots of reasons, but the fact that the viewership was there is great. I love that for baseball.
All right. Look, let's just get right into it, man. Normally we'll do the quick hits real quick, but let's just get right into it. Into the World Series before BRL joins. Right before BRF is able to join us, because I want to ask you your humble opinion about the Dodgers winning the chip at this point. Because uh, what are your thoughts on it? Because we was talking throughout the World Series. We was talking about the Joe Carter, how we was hoping that they was going to do a walk off like a Joe Carter type of incident,
And
and
we were so close.
it
Vlad
was
was
yes, yes,
28.
very damn close, man,
Uh,
very very close. Um, hey, and like I stated earlier, the ratings in Game Seven uh, of that was higher than the Super Bowl. They had 40K fans higher than the Super Bowl, so that is amazing. What are your thoughts about the Dodgers winning the chip, man?
um, so I mean, I'm from Wisconsin, big Brewer fan. We got swept by the Dodgers. That wasn't fun. And we've been talking the last couple weeks in general. And my common phrase over the last couple weeks has been fuck the Dodgers. To be honest. But at the same time, if I take out my personal bias from it and it comes to like what's good for overall baseball, again, just like I kind of opened the show, having a great villain is what's best for business. It just is. It will always be that way. It will never change. The peak, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL ratings is when boxing, anything, hockey is when there is a great villain that everybody wants to see fall, and that brings in the numbers, and the numbers from last night are evident of that. The media did a great job. All the talking heads did a great job of building up this villain on how this, the effect of the Brewers and Dodgers series, and then whether the Dodgers winning would affect the CBA and everything, and how it's the reason we don't have a salary cap. It was a beautiful, masterful job by media painting them as Dr. Doom, and it worked. And great, it's awesome. I love it for baseball. I think as much as the NFL is king, and it won't be topped except for apparently last night they had 40,000 more viewers than the Super Bowl. Baseball will always be America's pastime. It will always be America's first love. No, and that will never be taken away. There's nothing more cinematic than a Game 7 in baseball in a World Series. There never will be. I mean, as much as like the last 2 minutes of the Super Bowl or something, and we see some epic endings, but a Game 7 when every pitch it matters. There's nothing like it, and so. Yay for baseball. And there's a part of me taking out my personal bias. There's a part of me that I don't know. Let the Dodgers keep spending money because I'll keep tuning in to watch them get their teeth kicked in. So hopefully it happens at some point.
I enjoyed that game thoroughly, man. Like I stated, I was hoping for a Joe Carter type ending. Ironically, Joe Carter, you know who that Joe Carter series happened against, right?
Yeah, the Phillies.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know who he beat?
I remember.
Yeah, you know who he beat he beat the Braves in order to get there. So,
I know.
Yeah, he beat the Braves in order to get there. So that it wasn't a storybook ending. It wasn't a very, very storybook ending, but you gotta, man, that was a tenacious series, man. And big ups to Will Smith, man.
I'm sorry, I take that back. It wasn't the Phillies, it was the Braves. It was the Atlanta Braves. I apologize. Yeah. I don't know why I said the Phillies. My bad. I was thinking about the was that 91 was the Twins, 93 was it 93 that was Toronto versus?
No, we won in 95.
I know, but I'm trying to think when was that 93 was Toronto versus Philly. That's why. So yeah. 92 was Toronto versus Atlanta, and then you had Toronto versus the Philly to the Phillies the following year.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Hey, I enjoyed that series, man. And look, big ups to Will Smith, man. Not Jada's Will Smith, but Will Smith from the Dodgers. 6 championships in a row, and played a big, huge role in them winning. I mean, that home run to move the needle for him, that was epic. 6 straight championships. I mean, just reeling them off.
Yeah, I'm yeah, I mean, look, and we saw. I mean, look, as much as they spent the money on this, we saw big time players show up in big time moments.
Mm-hmm.
And including guys like and then on top of it, like not the big time players. I mean, but Ohtani showed up. Freddie Freeman, who I want to love him. He's just a Dodger. That's the problem. I want to love him. He's just a Dodger. And watching Ohtani, everybody showed in this series, and I think that's another reason why the the ratings were so good, was because that. Sorry, my cat's trying to play with my pen right now in my hand. To see all the stars just kind of show up, and that's not like that brings worry. If the stars show up in the series, so I mean, yeah, 6 straight World Series or 6 straight championships. That's insane.
That is real insane, man. Got a question, man. A real pipe bomb for us, man. As we get started, waiting on BRF to rejoin us, man. He will rejoin us very, very soon. For the audience out there who's wondering what BRF is. So interesting conversation that Ryan Clark had on the pivot. He stated that Barry Bonds was the greatest of all time. Well, excuse me, I think I got it backwards, but he said something to the nature of Barry Bonds was the greatest of all time, and Ohtani is the most talented of all time.
I think Ryan Clark said that Bonds is the most talented, but Ohtani is the greatest.
Okay.
And in the chat, BRF said that that he had it backwards, and I agree. What's up, Dwayne? That's a real difficult. I will say this: if Ohtani, that ninth inning was totally set up for Ohtani to be the hero. If Rojas doesn't hit that home run to tie the game,
Mm-hmm.
I was fully expecting, the simulation to take over, and Rojas would like get walked or get on base somehow, and then Ohtani would hit a 2-run blast and then whatever. But I don't know if he's the. I don't know if he's the. The funny thing is, Bonds doesn't have he doesn't have the rings.
No. His greatest World Series, he didn't even win one.
No. And so I think it's a little bit more difficult discussion to be had. I think Bonds had more aura than Ohtani, because Bonds was must-see TV. Bonds was every at bat that Bonds was like in when he was in his prime in the Giants, everybody tuned in to watch him. I think with Ohtani, he in my opinion, and I know we talked about this prior to me and BRF went back and forth. He is getting to the point where I don't know how he can't be considered the greatest player of all time. Now he's got multiple World Series rings. Mm-hmm. He could be. If he just did pitching, he would be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He still can just walk in there and give you 6.5 innings of what you did against the Brewers, and still lead the league in home runs, RBIs. Like I'm not this person. The reason why I give Babe Ruth still more than likely the greatest player of all time is because he could pitch and was a great and was a really good pitcher. Ohtani is Cy Young level good at pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we kind of pulling back to not say this guy isn't the greatest player ever?
Probably because every time you look around, I think, and I'm not trying to blame it on basketball. I think with basketball, every time you look around the GOAT conversation, it gets very, very tiring at a certain point. Yeah. So that's why I believe that everybody is so, and even in football, everybody's trying to, every time you look around, somebody's trying to put somebody in that conversation where it's a clear cut who belongs there and who doesn't. I really think at basketball, it started in basketball with the whole Jordan LeBron situation. Then it moved unfortunately, that GOAT conversation, which is a very, very tired conversation, I might add, once again, it moved on to football, and everybody tried to place Patrick Mahomes in that conversation with Tom Brady. And they tried to move the goalposts and say, well, he doesn't have to win 7 Super Bowls. And I'm like, well, bull jive, because the reason why we labeled Tom Brady as the greatest of all time is because of the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we labeled him the greatest of all time. Yes. That's the reason why we labeled Joe Cool, Joe Montana, when he was doing his run as the greatest of all time. Because he had 4 rings. He was one of the most talented. He revolutionized the game with the West Coast offense. He was able to win even without Jerry Rice those first 2 Super Bowls, and beat Dan Marino and Kenny Anderson, beat Boomer Esiason, beat John Elway, beat some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time doing his run, and some of the greatest defenses of all time. So that's why a lot of people in the world of baseball who, like I stated, is America's favorite pastime, they're not anxious to say, well, he's the greatest of all time, because guess what? The conversation gets tiring, number one. Number two, the damn goalpost always gets moved because of recency bias, if you really want me to be honest with you. Because the thing is, are we judging this by talent? Are we judging this by rings? Are we judging this by awards? It's a whole lot of criteria. And with baseball, it's not that simple. It's not necessarily that simple. A person can have a hell of a lot more rings than you and still not be considered better than you are.
No, because, and the reason for that is baseball is very stat, like its emphasis is on stats. Yeah. Like it's always been that way. It's always the old guy sitting there, keeping track of pitches, and I guess stats have always been, a huge part of baseball, and that's the reason why. It's like why rings isn't. It's a different vibe in baseball.
Beast.
Yeah. Speak just randomly side topic. So I have a habit. There's a guy that I follow on YouTube who posts full broadcasts of old NFL games. And I randomly watched a Monday night the Denver Broncos in 1988 versus the Oakland Raiders. And speaking of guys that of recency bias and we don't give nods to, that was the night that Tony Dorsett climbed into second place in the all-time rushing record. And that dude never gets mentioned in the all-time great backs, and he really should. I know it's just a random thing, but it just kind of goes to the point that you made about how complete recency bias, and we just forget guys that were so great back in the day and it's just they just get lost in the conversation because we are an instant coffee society. But baseball is a different thing, but I do think that we need to start having that conversation that Ohtani is the greatest player to ever walk onto it. I'm not talking about not just most talented, but greatest. The accolades are now starting to pile up. That was the problem with the argument before with me MBR is the accolades just kind of aren't there. But okay, but at this point, on top of it, he dominated in Japan too. But just in Major League Baseball since he's gotten there, now he's a 2-time world champion, 3-time MVP, 5-time All MVP, 5-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger, 2-time Hank Aaron Award winner. I could go over his pitching stats. His win-loss record is 42-15. He's got an earned run average of 2.52, 624 strikeouts. That's insane. And the only reason those aren't better is because they just the last year with the Angels and with the Dodgers, he's been basically just they've relegated him. But then it's hey dude, can you go in there and pitch a little bit?
Yeah.
And then he just, again, he throws 6.5 almost shutout innings against the Brewers. And it's just this is, could Bonds go and do that? No. No. Is there anybody in Major League Baseball history that could do that? No.
Outside of Babe Ruth, no.
Outside of Babe Ruth, no. So I don't know. I think we're getting kind of. I think this is one of those instances where this shouldn't. The recency bias. It's not recency bias because normally I'm that guy. I'm that guy to say, "Whoa, everybody, let's pull back."
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Down. Let's everybody. But this one, I'm all for.
Okay.
I don't see why not. I'm trying to look up his pitching stats for the last.
So when you look at some of the guys who we consider the greatest of all time in baseball, you talk about Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, even Willie Mays at a certain point. God rest his soul. We did a dedication on him not too long ago. Are you willing to say, even as an all-time baseball fan, that he's above those guys?
Above who? Sorry.
When you talk about greatest of all time, you talk about Willie Mays, you talk about Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth. That's the reason why I believe that a lot of people are saying, wait a second,
What? Tell me why not? I guess that's my response. Why isn't he the greatest of all time?
That's a good point.
Why isn't he? Tell me why he's not. I can tell you all the reasons why I think he is. He's a Cy Young award-winning, so I shouldn't say Cy Young award-winning, but Cy Young level talent at pitching has shown that in year in and year out when he's allowed the chance to pitch. Mm-hmm. He is arguably the best hitter in baseball. Right?
Yep.
He's got accolade after. multiple time champion now. You can argue whether the Dodgers buy it or not. That's a totally separate issue. But why isn't he? And until I get a great answer for that, you know, again, tell me why not.
Great words of Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but why not? Why isn't he? And so,
Hey, man. I got to give you your props on that one. But look, here's another question since we're on the subject of that money. I got to ask you this. Every time you hear about big markets, you hear about salary talks. Isn't it ironic that we only talk about salary cap and salary floors when it comes to big market teams? Do you find that quite ironic or what have you? Because right now, people are going to say, well, they bought a championship, but the Mets, they are the highest paid team in baseball right about now. Do you think that there's a correlation between the biggest markets in baseball and the salary cap and wanting the salary floor? Or, like I said, I find it quite ironic when you talk about all of a sudden the big market team go on a run, everybody want to start talking about a salary cap. But when a lot of teams who payroll is up there, remember the Atlanta Braves, we're the fifth highest paid team in the league at this point. We didn't even make the playoffs. Granted, it was because of a lot of injuries, and that idiot, he got suspended for 80 damn games, but we were fifth highest up there, and we are relatively a small market at this point. But when you start talking about big markets and when they start winning, it's kind of like the Notre Dame effect. When Notre Dame is losing, don't nobody want to talk about them being an independent conference. When they start winning, everybody went, well, they need to be in a conference. Don't you find that to be ironic, or what have you? What's your opinion on that?
I think that's it's actually a topic I was kind of thinking about, like after the game last night, of when a lot of the Dodgers players, I know Kershaw came out and said something about it and kind of blasted people about, like, the Dodgers buying a World Series and everything like that, and I was thinking, I'm like, is it a valid criticism to say that because I've been a part of that of just saying that they essentially just buy World Series, but we've seen over time and time again in not only just baseball but football, basketball, that just because you buy a ton of talent doesn't mean you build a championship team. We saw with the Eagles. I remember when they had Mike Vick, and then they signed Vince Young as the backup, and then it was, and they signed a bunch of other players.
Yeah,
and it just, and they flamed out. We saw the back in the day, the Washington football team, when they bought Bruce Smith and Deion Sanders and Brad Smith or Brad Johnson, and they spent a bunch of money, and I don't even think they made the playoffs. So, we've seen the Florida Marlins multiple times, especially in the 90s. I mean, sometimes it worked with them. They went out and spent a bunch of money. They won a World Series, and then they just dumped all the salaries. And then sometimes they wouldn't spend it, and it didn't work at all. But then we do see it, like, when the Dodgers here, the Yankees, the Lakers. The Lakers did it. I mean, they went and spent all that money on Karl Malone and and everybody, and they had Shaq and Kobe, and they lost to the Pistons. So, is it a valid criticism? Yes and no. Yes, because it does give a distinct advantage to big market teams or teams that have unlimited payrolls, but then at the same time, it does give that, and part of the reason why you are a baseball fan of your local team is that you want that one player that you grab onto and hold on to as a child, and then grow up with them. When I was a kid, here with the Brewers, it was Robin Yount. It was with the Brewers his whole career, but we saw Paul Molitor go and leave for the Twins and Toronto. You want to see guys like that. That's the thing that we're dealing with now with the Milwaukee Bucks, is that we've had Giannis, who's one top three player in the league, and every year it's, is he going to the Lakers? Is he going finally? Son of a gun! he looks a little angry. Like, it's constantly every year of where there's one, it drives conversation, it just does clicks, but at the same time too, it's a thing. It's not as big of a thing as it used to be pre-internet and pre-everything else, but it's still a thing. The reason why it's not a valid criticism is because, again, just because you spend money doesn't mean you build chemistry. You build, you build strategy. Talent's talent. That's great, but we see it time and time again, not only just in professional sports, but look at what has happened in college basketball recently. We've had a lot of the one and done, and you have the teams like Kentucky, and they have all these one and dones, and then they go against a team like Southwest State, Youngstown Technical College, and they have a bunch of seniors that have been playing together for the last 4 years, and they just know each other inside and out and know how to play together, and it works. So I think there's valid criticism to both ends of it. I think it is a valid criticism, but I think it's not. But this is why I'm always a proponent of there's always a middle ground to it instead of overcorrecting and over and over. It's why I think I think you should. People talk about a salary floor. I think salary floor is a start, but I think it should be based on the revenue that you bring in. So instead of like a flat salary floor, you should have depending on the revenue that you bring in. So let's say the Braves bring in way more revenue than the Brewers do. So their floor should be higher than the Brewers' floor. So that would be that's my opinion on how, not that the Braves aren't going to spend money, they do already, but I'm just, I'm just saying in general, I'm just throwing out like teams in general. So why don't we just start there first instead of just going like, well, let's just destroy everything. So that's kind of my opinion. What do you think?
But to be honest with you, I say it's a valid criticism because unlike the NFL and the NBA, the MLB has their TV contracts with their local markets are very, very separate from the ones they have with the league. We saw that with the New York Yankees and how they was able to take a lot of money from their local market, for Madison Square Garden TV in order to use for their team. I mean, George Steinbrenner used it for years. So their local TV market plays a hell of a lot more of a role in the team's revenue than it does in the NFL. In the NFL, the NBA, everybody's TV market is together, both local and, national. So, yeah. But in the baseball, your local television market is very, very important. It's
Yes.
very, very important. So, yeah, I could understand why people would say, salary cap is big salaries and big markets is kind of unfair because if I'm in New York and I'm making damn near, because everybody in New York gonna watch the damn Yankees. Let's just be whether you want to see them win or lose. Everybody in the state of New York gonna watch the Yankees, and let's say they make $200 million from subscriptions off of their TV contracts. Guess what? You're gonna make a hell of a lot more than Kansas City, who may make $40 million. So, yeah. But I really do think a salary floor is important so you won't have these cheap ass owners going down here trying to, just put a product out there on the field that, that's just unfit. Remember how David Glass was as an owner when why are you laughing at me? But remember how but I was being serious. Remember how David Glass was when he was damn the owner of the Kansas City Royals. It was just like their damn payrolls at the bottom every single year. And remember, the league, I don't know how they do it now. I do a little bit more research on it. Remember back then, the league would give teams money that was on the bottom of the league to give them money in order to spend in the salary cap. Like they'll give them $50 million, $20 million, maybe $75 million. And he wouldn't even use the damn money to get better versus where George Steinbrenner, he would use to do different things. But yeah, I mean, I think the reason why I really believe that in MLB the salaries gets mentioned a lot more when it comes to big market is because their local TV contracts play a lot more of a role than they do in other sports. Like I stated,
Well,
Los
and that's why I said I think that we should start with a salary floor, but it should be different for every team because again, like the Yankees, they have the S network. Well, they pull in a crap ton of money just based off of that.
yeah,
So their salary floor should be different than the Milwaukee Brewers.
yeah,
So the other thing too, I think another rule that should be a thing is these deferred contracts where Shohei Ohtani's salary, hey PSP, is $2 million a year. That's insane. That's not as the Dodgers. You can do something like that because you're that should be that's the other thing that should go away. I'd actually be okay with just a fluctuating salary floor and getting rid of deferred contracts. I think that's now you're really besides the fact that you can outspend everybody. Now you can just defer that later. That's
but isn't that the same as? But look, hear me out on this though.
okay.
Isn't that the same as teams clearing salary in the NFL by saying, okay, rather than you having the majority of your contract count against the salary cap, we're going to turn that into a bonus and pay you out this 26 million, where your contract of 50 million a year, it can clear something off the books in order for us to bring in another player.
But if like Aaron Rodgers retires, the Steelers aren't going to keep paying him.
Okay.
Like that's kind of the difference. Like it's why the Bobby Bonilla contract is always made fun of. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's been. I have to look at when he retired, but it's damn near half my lifetime. I mean, I'm 43 years old, soon to be 44 in April, and that dude's still getting paid. Like,
hold on, let me see when that contract runs out. I think it's getting ready to run out. So
I think it's almost there, yeah. But let's see.
Bobby Bonilla contract. Hold on, I gotta use my phone because every time they say it's Bobby Bonilla, every time they look at it, they say it's Bobby Bonilla Day. Oh, okay.
No, he's still got another 10 years.
Yep.
It's a deferred payment agreement with the New York Mets that pays him approximately $1.19 million every July 1st until 2035.
Damn. That not a bad investment. Not bad at all.
Dude, I ain't hating on the dude. I ain't hating on him. I'm just saying, as just a pure you go get that bag, and that's a great investment as a long term, especially with all the players that in whatever sport they blow through all their money. That's actually a really smart on a player side. That's a really smart thing to do. You have a guaranteed 1 point whatever million. You get a guaranteed $1 million every single year. So, but I think as a league, I think that's not fair. I don't think that should be a thing. So those are the two places that I personally would start. Would be a fluctuating salary floor, and then I would get rid of deferred contracts.
What is your opinion, BRF? We got the great BRF just joining us. What do you think about the big markets and these big salary talks? Like I said, my humble opinion, we don't even. It's like the Notre Dame effect. If you really want me to be honest with you, nobody wants to talk about Notre Dame being an independent conference until they started winning. Then all of a sudden, well, they need to join a conference. They don't really talk about the big markets and the big spending until a big market team like the Yankees or the Dodgers win. And people might not think this, but when we won, people consider Atlanta, although it's a big city, they consider us a smaller market than those other bigger cities. So what do you think about that?
Well, it's not necessarily the bigger market teams winning. It's the fact that even if they're not winning, they're still able to get all the talent, and it's because they have the money to get the talent. Like you may have years like a team like, I'll use the San Diego Padres for example. They may really underachieve during the regular season, but they had one of the best off seasons because they acquire XYZ player for this amount, and they're always in the talks for the high level free agents, whether it be like in the Padres case, whether it be a Manny Machado or a Xander Bogaerts or a Dylan Cease or somebody like that who they've been able to acquire, whether it be through a big free agent signing or a trade. So it's the teams that might not necessarily be winning as much, but yet they're still able to manage 200, $250 million payroll just because they have it like that, whether it be through TV, whether it be through tickets, whether it be through merchandise. So I just think I would like to see like a salary cap and a floor instituted, just to kind of and just to kind of see it be dispersed a little bit throughout the league. And another reason why I kind of want to see it is the fact that you have like your smaller market teams out there that like, okay, well, I'll give you an example. Like the Pittsburgh Pirates. We know they're not good. We know they're not good. They've been bad for a long, long time. But you know that 9 times out of 10 they have no chance to lock up anybody of noteworthiness if they have a player on their roster who's like bordering on superstardom if they're not already a superstar, like Paul Skeens, who's already arguably the best pitcher in baseball. No chance in hell they sign him because he's going to command a lot of money. But at the same time, though, a lot of that is really Pittsburgh being bad. But at the same time, though, I I think with baseball, I just think it's surprising that baseball's had the parity that they've been able to have over the last like 20 years as far as like world champions are concerned, because they've still been able, like, you may think it's been the usual suspects winning championships, but it's not been the usual suspects winning championships. Like, take the New York Yankees for example. They haven't won a championship since 2009. The you know it's just I think it's more about, I think it's just more dispersing the money throughout. That's why I'm cool. I'll be definitely fine with a salary cap and a salary floor, just so some of those mid-level teams, just kind of had an opportunity to go out and get some of these players. I mean, like, there's no way in hell a team like the Los Angeles Dodgers should get everybody. And then you see their fans defending them like, well, you should have signed this dude. You had a shot to get. No, 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 they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't. They didn't have a shot. Because once those figures come out and you know what they're expecting, you know who's going to be able to sign them and you know who's not going to be able to sign them. So don't. I kind of don't want to hear that, because I mean, yeah, like, you probably you hearing that from the Dodgers fans, because I mean, come on, man. In no realm should you be able to get Blake Snell, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, and still be able to fork out $325 million to go to Japan and pluck a Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Just no, just no,
Well,
just no way.
but this is why. So like when you were gone for a minute, like this is why I have two thoughts. I don't think there should be a salary cap, but I think there should be a salary floor. But I also think that deferred, like, there's no reason that the Dodgers should be able to pay Shohei Ohtani $2 million a year, and everything is deferred like after he's retired. That's.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, though, for the benefit of the league, and this goes to my point all along. Jan pointed out that the Game 7 had 40,000 more viewers than the Super Bowl did. The reason why is because everybody loves a good villain. I'm fine with them spending money because for the good of the overall league, we need villains. But I think there should be some kind of floor, because it should be fluctuating. Like the Yankees. So my idea was that every team needs to have a salary cap floor that they need to spend, but it should be based on the revenue that you bring in. So like the Yankees, who have the Yes Network, they bring way more revenue in than the Milwaukee Brewers. So their floor should be way higher than the Brewers. And this also goes to the point of like the Kansas City Royals owner that wouldn't spend me at all. Like,
Yeah,
he's got to spend something. So But I also think that the Dodgers or the Yankees need to contribute more to these other teams. I'd have to look up more like what kind of shared. And I'm sure this is going to come into the CBA coming up in Major League Baseball. But what are they going to be sharing throughout the league? I don't want to completely take away the ability of the villain.
Yeah,
I don't. Because that's what's great for baseball and great for sports in general. But I do want to even the playing field. I think there should be. I want sensible rules. That's it.
Yeah, because I feel like Detroit should at least have a team like Detroit should be able to have the opportunity to keep Tariq Skubal in house. Pittsburgh should have the opportunity to be able to keep Paul Skeens in house, and so on and so on and so on. So I definitely think the money. Yeah.
There's a perfect example, and this is a local one. When CeCe Sabathia was traded to Milwaukee, okay, and he still says to this day that it was his best time in his career when he was pitching for Milwaukee, just for that half a season and that playoff run. It was the best experience, but there's no way that we could afford keeping him because the Yankees just came and offered him $1 gazillion. And here's the thing. It's not just that he won't take it, the union won't allow him to not take it.
Yep.
Because the baseball players union is going to go, if you can get this money, it drives the market up for everybody else. So it's just like the A-Rod thing when he was supposed to go to Boston, but ended up going to the Yankees, is because the Yankees ended up paying him more. And the union stepped in and said, no, you're going to take this because it's better for everybody else.
Yes, indeed.
So it's not just the evil. It's not just the evil owners. I just want to point that out. By the way, everybody talks about the evil. The Dodgers are the evil, or the Yankees are the evil ones. It's the union too.
Yeah, Donald Fear. Is Donald Fear still in charge of the players' union?
I don't think so.
Because hey, look. The reason I always bring him up when we talk about baseball and the players' union, because those damn owners were scared to damn death of it. And they they even called it fear of fear.
Tony Clark.
Okay. They got his ass up out of there because he used to scare the hell out of them owners. Because them players got every damn thing they wanted when it came to collective bargaining.
I will say this, though. I think this year we're going to see how big a balls that Tony Clark's got.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, PSP. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're going to get to football in a minute. But yeah.
Wait, what? I'm so what is he talking about?
No, he's talking about I picked the Commanders in order to beat Seattle. Like I was hoping that they was gonna pull something out.
You did. You did?
Yes. Yeah. I literally picked against my own team this week. I wasn't feeling well this week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I got to get on you about that pick too. Talking about some Drake May were going to throw 4 touchdowns. They should have won that damn game. I'm still a little upset.
I mean, but the thing is, I wasn't wrong. He still got us. I mean, defense did their job. Defense did their job. Offense didn't matriculate that much, and heads need to roll, and we'll get to that in a minute. But let's stick to baseball right about now. Question. You wasn't here when I asked this question to the personification of greatness himself. What do you think about Ryan Clark's comments about Barry Bonds and Shohei Ohtani? What are your comments?
He got it back. He's got it backwards.
Okay.
He's got it backwards. Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player of all time. Shohei Ohtani is the most talented baseball player of all time. He's got it wrong. He's got it backwards. Now it's getting to where now it's about to start getting to where we're about to start having this conversation as far as Shohei Ohtani being in the GOAT conversation. Is getting to that point. But my point still stands. Barry Bonds is the greatest player of all time. Shohei Ohtani is the most talented baseball player ever. He got it backwards.
Okay. So I changed my mind on this. I went out. Tell me why Ohtani isn't the greatest of all time.
I'm just here.
He's not because I still feel like, even though he's already showcased himself as the most talented player of all time, and yes, he now has 2 championships, he still has to prove it. 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 He still has to prove 2 championships, I still feel like there's a little more that needs to be done
What?
like. And I would say at least on the end. I don't think he really needs any more championships. He don't need any more championships. He got 2. But do a little more as far as the end. I'll say a little more on the individual accolade. I'll say this: if he wins another NL MVP this year, then we could probably start having a conversation. And I think he's going to win another league MVP this year. So I think now it's getting to where we can start having this conversation.
I don't. At this point, I don't see why it's. I think Ohtani's past him. I do. And here's the he is a Cy Young level ability pitcher. Has been since he's walked onto the field. He is the best hitter in baseball. He's a multi-world champion, which Bonds never was. Now, you can argue the reasons why, and because of the Dodgers and everything else and blah, blah, but it's not like Bonds played on terrible, but he's got multiple championships. He's a multiple-time All-Star, 3-time MVP already, probably going to be a 4-time MVP. All NBA all Major League Baseball first team 5 times, Rookie of the Year, Silver Slug 3 times, Hank Aaron Award winner 3 times, 2-time home run leader. Not to mention what he did in Japan and World Baseball Classic MVP, 2-time All-World Baseball Classic team. I mean, there's more reasons why he is than he's not.
Well, if you want to include the international side of it, then okay. But
if we're talking greatest Major League Baseball player of all time, sure. But if we're talking about the greatest baseball player that's ever walked onto a field ever right now, we're at this point where it's kind of a silly argument. Because, and look, I'm usually the guy that is the whoa with the recency bias thing. I am. 9 times out of 10, I am. 99 times out of 100, I am. But at this point, could Bonds ever walk onto a field and go 6.5 scoreless innings against the Milwaukee Brewers? No.
He wasn't brought up. He wasn't brought up like that. He was brought up as a sheer outfielder.
I know, but but that's a hypothetical. We only have the evidence as what's in front of us. Shohei Ohtani is a Cy Young level winning pitcher. He hasn't won one, but he could. I could, his stats. He's a 42-15 win-loss record, earned and this is just basic pitching stats. 2.52 ERA, 624 strikeouts. On top of everything else that he's done. Again, I'm not dismissing how great Bonds was. I think Bonds. Now, I'm actually arguing the opposite of the Jordan effect. I think Bonds' aura is what makes him greater than Ohtani, or if you want to make that argument, because Bonds was must-see TV. Ohtani's not.
Ohtani's starting to creep into that. You starting to get to where you'll change a channel for him. Yeah.
But I still think that Bonds was the way you hear former players talk about Bonds is the way that people talk about Jordan and Brady. They're like this mythical creature that, there's no way that these guys could have existed. And I don't think Ohtani is there quite yet. And I think that's the last piece right now. It's just hard for me to just go, when he's that good of a pitcher consistently. This isn't like Babe Ruth where he stopped pitching, but he's that good of a pitcher consistently, and he's the best hitter in baseball, and he's got championships, and he's got accolades.
I have a question for both of you guys, because this is something that I don't like about baseball. Do y'all think they should get rid of that Barry Bonds rule? Do you think they should get rid of the ability for them to intentional walk? Because that's the only thing I don't really like about baseball. Do you think they should get that rule?
It's still a part of strategy. It's still a part of the game. Now, if you intentionally walk someone and then the next dude comes up and he gets you, that's on you. It's a strategy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't think there's nothing you get rid of. It's still strategy, and it's like that's why I think baseball is like the ultimate chess game. And I think that's part of what makes it what it is. So no, you should not. I think it's crazy when they intentionally walk with the bases loaded. I think it's because that's happened to Bonds before. He's been intentionally walked
Yeah,
with the
but
bases loaded.
that's why I'm saying that's why I
But
used to hate
nah,
that shit. Get rid of that damn rule. Like I don't like
nah,
that damn rule. Like I
nah,
really do not.
nah,
Like look,
nah.
even if look, I'm gonna just be real. I'm all for you coming to that damn mound and you see a big hitter. Guess what? Challenge his ass. Go like Nolan Ryan used to do. Shit, you think you bad? I'm finna. In the great words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you a choir boy compared to who I am. I'm gonna come up here and throw about 3 fastballs and see if you can knock them out the park. So, yeah, but that's what I'm down for. I don't really
I'm going to
like
say
that
no.
it, but yeah.
I'm going to agree with BRF on this one because I like you when you watch that 12th inning or 11th inning or whatever it was last night, and I'm in the chat with you guys and then another group of friends, and I'm like they'll intentionally walk him to go for the double play, and there's too much strategy behind it, and I called it. I'm like this will end on a double play, and it did. So I played from T-ball through varsity, and I don't think we should take that away. That's something that there's so much strategy involved in those chess moves that I know. I also think it adds to a player's aura.
Yeah.
I think that's what puts Bonds on a level like not a lot of players are.
They're intentionally used to walking with the bases loaded. I'm like, what the hell? No, because I you like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You realize they're gonna score.
And the thing is with baseball nowadays, with baseball being way more of basic. Baseball is basically like a 3 result sport now. Base hit, home run, strikeout. It's basically all it is nowadays. It's like the hitters are so much more focused as far as analytics and stuff like that, as far as like launch angles and all this other stuff, and hitting home runs and all this other stuff. The hitters are so more focused on getting the ball in the air now. You don't necessarily, even though you have your guys that you may need to intentionally walk in a certain situation, but you can pitch to them more now because I feel like they're easier to strike out than they've been before because everybody's swinging. They're not thinking as much at the plate like they used to back in the day. Like let me like a Manny Ramirez or like Albert Bell back in the day or like a Frank Thomas or somebody like that who could hit 50 homers and drive in 130 runs, but would also have like a 330 batting average. So there's not really a lot of that like it used to be. So it's like you can challenge batters a lot more in this era than you could previously because the hitters then were more thinking man hitters. That's why you see them with like ridiculous averages. Like some of the numbers that those guys used to put up and wouldn't even finish in the top 10 in MVP voting is crazy.
I just want to go through game 4 of the National League Championship Series. This was Ohtani's game. He was 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs and 3 home runs. On top of that, he pitched six scoreless innings, only allowing 2 hits
and struck out 10.
Strikeouts. 10 strikeouts. Again,
like I said,
to argue again. Bonds could never. Nobody in history could ever. Besides Ruth.
Yeah, besides Ruth. Yeah,
That's it.
That's why that is. But I still stand on most talented player ever. I still stand on that. He's easily the most talented, but I still stand on that.
Let's move forward. Let's go forward since we're on the premise of past versus present. The last dynasty was the Yankees. How would this team stack up against that late '90s Yankees team?
I'll let you take that one first, dude.
Okay. I might cause a little blasphemy here, but I'm gonna go in. When you compare lineups, this lineup smashes those Yankees,
Mm.
top to bottom. They smash them. They smash them top to bottom. And it's and here's the thing though. Let me tell you something. I think Derek Jeter gets a horrible rap in a lot of aspects, particularly on his with his defense. But you're not going to deny his hitting. But in terms of top to bottom lineup, the Dodgers smash the Yankees. They just do. It's and the thing is, the Yankees played in the American League then. So I mean, even though you have the designated hitter rule for both leagues now, then it was just designated hitter rule for the American League. But even if you stack those Yankees 1 through 9s against this Dodgers 1 through 9, is not even close. Where I think the Yankees could, and even now, I think this Dodger squad would have a chance to beat those Yankee squads. I feel like what Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto showed me in these playoffs, that 1-2 is just dead. Blake Snell has been a postseason pitching demon his entire career. And what Yamamoto showed me in these playoffs, he's like, he's in top five. He should be in top five major league pitcher right now conversations.
Boy, John Gruden was
After
right about
that,
something going
after,
on.
after that, huh?
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead. I interrupted. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I think Yamamoto after that playoff performance should be in top five pitcher conversation. What he did was insane, and it was one of like yeah. Seattle is like literally BTA in these boys. It's crazy, but
Do you think that? Do you think that the Mariano Rivera factor would be a factor in that game in that series if they were to play? Do you really think that with him as being as good as a closer, if as he is, if the Yankees team was up, let's say 6-4, and they had Otani and Freeman coming up to bat, do you really think that he would stand a chance against that lineup?
I think with the hitter the way they are nowadays, Mariano Rivera was a one pitch pitcher. He was cutter through and through and through and through. He was cutter.
Yeah, but it's
And
arguably one of the greatest pitches ever.
it's one, yeah, it is. It's like the Mariano Rivera's cutter is up there with like the Maddox two seam fastball and the changeup, the Randy Johnson slider. Hell, the not a lot of people talk about it. The Barry Zito curveball. You should YouTube that. That is one of the
Yeah.
nastiest curveballs I've ever seen. Him and Kershaw's. I feel like the left handed 12-6 curveball is one of the sickest things I've ever seen. But I th- I think I think him being a one pitch pitcher will make it a little more difficult with the hitters now compared to then. I don't know because I feel like you can't be. I don't think Mariano Rivera could be a one pitch pitcher in this era of hitting because once the hitter knows what you're pitching, they're gonna adapt and you're gonna try to throw it on the inside corner and they're gonna just lay off and they're just gonna wait for you to make that one mistake and leave it a little too far over the plate. And with guys like Otani and Freeman and Hernandez and Will Smith and guys like that, they're gonna yank him. I just feel like that they're gonna yank him. So I just feel like I think I think that's the main thing with me. Him being a one pitch pitcher would be a little harder nowadays than it was then. Him being a one pitch pitcher, even though it's one of the most dangerous pitches of all time, I think it'd be a little more difficult now.
Flash.
I mean, that Yankees. I mean, that starting rotation was Andy Pettitte, David Wells, David Cohn, Hideki Irabu, and Orlando Hernandez.
It's
With
a good rotation.
with with Mariano Rivera and Mike Stanton. Ramiro Mendoza, Jeff Nelson, and oh man,
But the Yankees get him is the pitching. Well, I think where the Yankees get him is the pitching depth.
the depth. Yes, I don't think the Dodgers have the depth that the Yankees do. And you got to remember that the dude. Darryl Strawberry was the DH for that team, and he was 24 home runs that year and 57 RBIs just as a DH. Then you had Paul O'Neill was 24 and 116. Bernie Williams was 26 and 97. Tino Martinez, holy shit, 28 home runs and 123 RBIs that year. Chuck Knobloch was the second.
Wasn't Doc on that team as well?
Doc?
Wasn't Doc on that team as well?
Oh, Doc Wooden?
Doc Wooden, yeah.
No, I don't.
I don't think he was on. I think he wasn't on any of the three-peat teams.
Okay,
Let's see. This is the 98 New York Yankees, which is considered the greatest Yankee team of all time. He wasn't on. Oh, and then 99, they just added Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
He was on that 2000 Yankees team.
I don't see him on the 99 team. I think he was a year earlier. I think he was on 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on 97, and then he came back in 2000. He won a championship with them in 2000.
Okay. Yeah, he was on.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna take the cheap answer out. I don't know, but I would love to see it, and I hope with the advancement of AI.
Go away.
Go away. I hope with the advancement of AI that at some point in the near future we're going to be able to see these like old teams versus these new teams. That would be so cool. Let's see. Of all the stuff that's coming out with AI, that would be something to see. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea, but I would love to see.
I would too.
I would love to see that pitcher from that 95 team. You know what 95 team I'm talking about? Go up against that damn team. I would love to see that damn team.
I still say to this day the 95 Atlanta Braves are the greatest pitching rotation ever. I stand by it. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, 1, 2, 3. Like, I don't. In terms of just sheer talent and the way they dominated, that it was just. I still stand by it's the greatest rotation of all time. I would love to see. I'm trying to think of a good. Oh gosh, Flash. If you had a dream baseball matchup, what would it be?
Like team wise or like pitcher versus hitter?
Team wise.
I mean, I kind of feel like this Dodgers versus the Yankees is pretty. It's up there. Like,
I'll say Braves versus this Dodgers team.
The problem is that Braves, as much as those are like that's my childhood. Those Braves teams don't have the hitting to keep up with the Dodgers.
No,
I agree with that.
The only thing we had was David. The only thing we had really was David Justice. We didn't
David Justice. I mean, and then don't be wrong. Like Terry Pendleton was great, and so was Ron Gant, and all. I mean, but they're nowhere near on the level of Betts, Ohtani, Freeman. That's just insane.
Do you think let me ask you this: do you think the Bash Brothers could out hit this Dodgers team?
The Oakland A's, no. Oakland, top to bottom, no.
No, I'm just
even with McGuire and Canseco, those Bash Brother teams, no, they're not top to bottom with these Dodgers. No.
Okay.
I would love to see, like, again, this is where AI could be a really cool thing. If you give that 27 Yankees the murderer's row, like new technology, just see what happens. Fuck, that would be cool.
Yeah,
I'd have to really think about because there are teams that were great during the regular season and they just never won a World Series. That I'm trying, like there was that Mariners team that won 121 games or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
The 2001 Mariners, they won 116 games in the regular season. They tied the record.
Yeah, and so it's like there are teams that didn't even make it that I'm like, oof. Like there are teams that didn't even make look that 92. This is a little close to my heart, and I'm probably a little biased, but that 92 Brewers team was a great they just barely didn't make the playoffs because they just lost out to Toronto. That was pre-wild card and everything. But there's so many.
The 1998 Atlanta Braves are one of the best teams that did not make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
They won 106 games. They won 106 games, and all 5 of their starting pitchers had at least 15 wins. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Kevin Millwood, Denny Nagel all got 15.
That is why I hate the Yankees to this day.
World Series.
Well, you should hate the Padres because the Padres was who knocked us out of the National League Championship.
Yeah, I remember that. That was.
I'd really have to think about that. I mean, you got the 70. I'm just looking at just a quick thing. There's,
Was Gary Sheffield on that team?
Which team? The 90 Birds?
No, Sheffield didn't join the Braves until 02 or 03.
Oh, you're talking about
Okay. What about the miracle? What about the miracle? What about the miracle? The Miracle Reds, Boston Red Sox.
I mean, yeah, you got Manny Ramirez, you got Pedro Martinez, you got David Ortiz. Like that's the 04 Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, the Miracle Red Sox.
I mean, there's that. I mean, that other. I mean,
I don't have my knowledge ain't up to you guys' standard, but I know a little bit. So
hey, let me tell you something. No, that let me tell you something. There's a reason why a lot of people just figured the American League Championship was going to be Yankees Red Sox because that Red Sox team. I mean, they showed that they could hang with the Yankees. I mean, Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, Mike Lowell was on that squad. Johnny Damon was on that squad. Edgar Renteria, I believe, was on. No, Edgar. I mean, no, he wasn't on that.
These are
no, he wasn't on that. Yeah, no, go ahead.
This is a list right now of the best Major League Baseball teams to not win a World Series. I mean, even you could go back to the 2022 Dodgers. They had 111 wins on 334 run differential. Like that's insane. The 04
and lost in the divisional.
Yep. The 01 Mariners that we talked about, they had a plus 300 run differential. They lost to the Yankees. I think that 2022 Dodgers team is probably with the best run differential and most wins. But I mean, that's that Mariners team. That Mariners team is probably. I want to look at that whole. They had the most wins to never get to a World Series. Was 116. So it's the 01 Mariners. Just look that up real quick.
All I remember was that was Ichiro Suzuki's rookie year, and it's probably the greatest rookie season of all time.
That was epic. That was epic. You think the 95 Expos could have beat this team?
In 94? The team that we never got to see?
Yeah, the 94 Expos, yeah. I just watched the reason why I bring them up, I didn't realize that damn new ownership was that damn corrupt, bro. Y'all need to watch that documentary.
I know. I need to watch that.
What the hell? Like,
I think the 94 Expos could give this Dodgers team a run just off of talent alone. I think that 94 Expos squad could give these Dodgers a run just off of talent alone. When you think about Moises Alou, Larry Walker, Pedro Martinez, I think John Wetland was the closer for that squad. Yeah, they would. Yeah, I think on talent alone, they would give the Dodgers a little run.
Yeah. Hey, man, a lot of great baseball teams in time, man. You know, like I said, my knowledge ain't up to you guys, but I know a little bit. Quick question. about this dynasty. So are they a mega? Is this the beginning of a mega dynasty? Took a little bit of your flair. They've won 3 titles in the last 5 years, to my knowledge. So
It's three in the let's see. If you include 2020, it's three in the last six.
3 in the last 6 years, and
If,
they have a chance.
if, yeah, if you go back, yeah, see, I get to talk. I get to talk about my video I posted today. If you go all the way back to 2017, from 2017 to 2025 is 9 years. They have 5 National League pennants in those 9 years, and they have 3 world titles in the last 6 years. They're already a dynasty. So it's just a matter of if they win next year, are they vaulted into greatest teams ever? And if they do, they obviously, I think, they're in the conversation of greatest teams of all time if they win again, because that's 3 in a row, and they ain't been done that often. So you have to put them in the conversation with the greatest. You have to put them in the conversation.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they were in 2 World Series that they lost in 2017, 2018.
Right, exactly.
I mean, they've been. I mean, we're getting close to a decade where they've been basically.
Yeah. I feel like from 2017 to 2025, if there's any team that you could really call the team face of Major League Baseball, it's the LA Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only reason that like the villainy of the Dodgers kind of took a side seat was because of the Astros cheating scandal. That's it.
Exactly.
Other than that, like the Dodgers right now, and they're sneaking up on Yankees level hate, which is impressive
Yes.
because everybody hates the Yankees.
Yeah,
so-
not to mention it's the LA factor. Big market.
Yep. So are they a dynasty? Yes. I think I think the bigger question is, does it continue? We will see with the CBA. I think that's the big question.
And that is my next question. Can the CBA stop this mega dynasty?
If deferred contracts are allowed to continue, then no. If they are, then I'm sorry. If they're not allowed to continue, then it will derail it somewhat. If they are allowed to continue, regardless of what they come up with, then no.
Okay. Be all right.
Well, I'll say this though: the 2025 edition of the Dodgers weren't really all that fantastic this year. They just got hot at the right time. So I think there are a certain number of teams with the right improvements could take the Dodgers out in 2026. So I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it will. I don't think it may need the CBA to stop them, because I think there are some teams with the right improvements that could derail the Dodgers next year. I don't think the Dodgers are going to come in as a preeminent favorite, but I don't think they're going to be like. I don't think they're going to be evil empire level 114 win New York Yankees, like better than just everybody else. So, but I do agree. I do agree with Flash from the CBA standpoint, but I don't think it's going to necessarily take the CBA to stop them, because I think with the right improvements, there are a number of teams that can beat the Dodgers next year.
Can the Yankees be one of them?
The Yankees are always one of them.
Okay.
Whether we want to hear it or not, the Yankees are always going to be one of them.
Okay.
You have the Yankees. Depending on what the Blue Jays do, I expect the Blue Jays to come back. You have the Phillies. You have the Braves. You have depending on what the Brewers do, whatever the Brewers do. You have the San Diego Padres. Depending on the improvements they can make. You have of course, you have to say the Red Sox. But so yeah, there's a number of teams with the right improvements can take out LA next year, whether it be in the National League side of things or in the World Series if the Dodgers were to come back.
Oh, shout out to my main man, Big J from Rec Room Sports. Braves end of the list.
I'll speak on this being a Braves fan. Alex Anthopoulos has to stop with the has to stop with the thrift store spending and free agency. He may have to go out and like actually get somebody this offseason.
Yeah. And we gotta retain the guys that we have too. So
yeah, they were looking at they'll like what I think they might
He's
do.
a bear.
I don't think
He's a bear free agent. He's a bear free agent.
Marcelo. If I'm the Braves, I'm not bringing Marcelo Zuna back. I'm
Why?
not. No, I'm not bringing him back because I feel like there are guys out there you can get just as a sheer designated hitter that can like do better than what he did this year. I don't bring him back. Anything, if anything, if you're not gonna trade Sean Murphy, I would put him in DH and just let Drake Baldwin catch every day. But honestly, I think they should go out and really, like I said, they should go out and scout this offseason in free agency and really actually spend a little money and not just do the thrift store shop, kind of spending.
Damn, I can't believe he said he don't want to bring Bear back, man. Damn.
Nah, I don't know. We don't need to bring Marcelo Zuna back. No, we don't need to bring him back. Mm-mm. If they do, they do. But if I was Alex Anthopoulos, I wouldn't. Because at his age and it's the money he's commanding at his age and his production. Nah, I'm not bringing him back.
Yeah. Damn, I like Bear.
Oh, try me. I love Marcelo Zuna, but I'm not bringing him back. Not for the money he's going to ask for.
How old is he again?
He's 30. He's in 33, 34 range, I think.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, with ball.
Yeah, like that's me personally. If I'm the GM, if I'm not gonna go out a designated hitter, I let Marcelo Zuna go. I let Drake Baldwin catch any day. I let Sean Murphy just be the DH.
Damn. Flash, any improvement that you can see the Brewers making over the offseason?
I mean, you just got to spend money. You just got to be able to keep that's the thing. I mean, I'll go back to when the Brewers were the hottest. Like everybody was talking about this is the year. This is during when they won like 21 games in a row or whatever it was. And I was like, and BRF is like, I don't think they can beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series. And BRF was 100% right on that. The Dodgers are just too loaded. It's like. And the thing is, it's not like the Brewers are a bad team. I do think they need some more. They need some more starting pitching. I think that's kind of the big thing. Here's the thing. It depends on your argument. Do you think it was more the Dodgers pitching or the lack of the Brewers hitting?
Both.
I mean, because
it was like when it mattered, both. Yeah.
What killed the Brewers in that series was the bats literally went silent, which is not. This isn't the first. That's not the first time that's happened to the Brewers in the playoffs either. It's kind of a thing. Christian Yelich has been non-existent in the playoffs, and so it's like, I said at Game 1, I thought they looked like the moment was too big for them.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like scared little puppies. And so I don't know what the improvements are. I think, like I said, some starting pitching, but I think their pitching actually is really good. They just got to hit the fucking baseball.
If we decide not to retain Bear, do you see you guys getting Bear? Taking on that contract at his age? To bring in some good hitting?
I don't know. I don't know what the owner's plan is. I haven't really looked into it after they lost the series on what the owner's plan. I mean, you got Cheerio that you got a lot of young talent right now that they gotta spend money on. So it's like they have a lot of big decisions to make right now, and again, it's like, do we rely on the best farm system in the league, which is arguably it is one of the best farm systems of the league, and especially the last 25, 30 years they've had at least a top five one, but. My big thing is what do you keep? Do you move on from Yelich and then keep Cheerio? What do you do? Like, how, because unfortunately we're not the Dodgers or the Yankees. I could just be like, well, we're going to give everybody $700 million, but we're going to give it to them 30 years down the road. Asshole.
Yeah, that's the franchise right there. I'm just going to be real.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
that's it. Just kind of depends. I think there's things they can do. It's just will they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd have to look in deeper what they have in their farm system right now. What that's the other thing. So I don't know. Again, I kind of said it this year. If this wasn't the year they literally have a Bible stuck up their ass and they still didn't pull off the World Series, I don't know. I don't know, because this has been a lot of heartbreaking postseasons from the Milwaukee Brewers. Like, we should have snuck into a World Series at this point, and we just haven't gotten it done.
Yeah, if I can, real quick, going back to what going back to what we need to do, because I've been kind of looking at it, and I've like kind of, if I'm the Braves, I pick up. Okay, first thing I'm doing, I'm picking up the option on Chris Sale. He retires and he retires in Atlanta. I'm picking up the option on Chris Sale. That's the first thing I do. Ha-Seong Kim, who we got from Tampa, I hope he declines his option and signs a contract and stay, because I like him there as the everyday shortstop. He did really good for the Braves as the everyday shortstop when he got there. So I would love to see them keep him. I would love to see them keep Pierce Johnson in the bullpen. It's like when pitchers leave Colorado, it's like they find themselves. And Pierce Johnson's done that since he joined the Braves. So I'm keeping him. And then as far as like shakeups, I would love to see Framber Valdez in the Braves uniform. I would love to see that. I would love to see him in the Braves uniform, because I feel like the two biggest things the Braves could do would be to either sign him or acquire Dylan Cease in a trade. But I think Framber Valdez is more consistent than Dylan Cease. If the Braves just lucked up and signed Framber Valdez, that rotation would just be one of the nastiest in baseball. Sale would be your one, and then Strider would be your two, Valdez would be your three, Schwellenbach would be your four, and Hurston Waldrop would be your five. That rotation is like I feel like that 1 through 5 is like top 6 in baseball instantly.
All right. All right. Look, let's take a shift. Let's take it out of the baseball diamond and let's take it to the hardwood. No pun intended. Look, let's just go into basketball. So John Morant just got suspended for 1 game for conduct. I cannot ignore your face when I see it.
Oh gosh.
I cannot ignore your face when I said the minute I said he got suspended, your face looked like this motherfucker, this motherfucker. But he got suspended for conduct detrimental to the team for 1 game, because when they asked him about it, when they asked him about his play and his playing time, he said ask the coaching staff, and then they suspended him for conduct detrimental to the team. Is he on his way out of Memphis at this point? And a 2-part question, because this is a question I've been waiting to ask you guys, but I just been waiting for the right time. Is a lot of these American players losing their grip in basketball because of this prima donna ass attitude? I mean, because it gets like, if you really look at a lot of the European players, no matter what national, no matter who they are, they're a hell of a lot more coachable. And these guys that's on the American side, it doesn't seem like they're as coachable anymore as they once were. Remember when you had Michael Jordan, the thing was he may have disagreed with Phil Jackson a lot, but he was still coachable. But you got to ask yourself, is the America losing its grip on basketball because these players are just no longer coachable? And is John Morant on his way out of Memphis at this point? Let me know y'all thoughts about it.
Flash, you can go first.
Halfway out.
Like, at what point do you? Yeah, I agree. I think he's halfway out of the NBA. Like, at some point, you're just an idiot. I'm just gonna say it. Like, he's just an idiot. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know him personally. But like, this goes to the thing too of like, again, it's like, well, I don't care how great you are. At some point, your antics and your stupidity outweigh your talent, and we're at that point. Like, would you take him on the Hawks?
Fuck. I mean, no. Pardon my language. No. We got no.
Not offending you with your language.
Time out. He said, "Fuck no."
By the way, I saw BRF never swears. So
BRF never swears, people.
That's like a hardcore, like,
no,
absolutely the fuck.
Bro,
yeah,
the fact that they were trying to
ass.
The fact that there was a John Morant over Trae Young conversation still baffles me to this day.
I mean,
still baffles me to this day.
Go back like pre-stupidity.
I still don't think it was a conversation.
There was a discussion at that.
No.
I mean, Morant, again, pre-stupidity, you know, I think there was a question of like, again, I think dudes are more.
There was a conversation of was he a top 5 point guard in the league?
Lord have mercy.
Trae Young or Morant?
John Morant.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, I think there was a discussion of like he was. This is how stupid he is. He was on a level that he was starting to be talked about as the possible future of the league, as the face of the league. And then bro went like full retard. You never go full retard. Like, it's like he's not stopping. Like, he's not, at some point you need, again, this is the thing, like, when people talk about Terrell Owens. I think Terrell Owens is one of the greatest receivers, obviously, of all time. But there's no way in hell I would want him in my locker room. No way. I just wouldn't. There's a difference between Dennis Rodman crazy and like John Morant or John Morant T.O. crazy. Like, there's a difference. And I don't want any kind of John Morant, Terrell. I don't.
My question is, which team would want to take them? And look, Laker fans, do not get me started about, we're the Lakers. We already got. We pretty set at the guard position right about now.
Y'all. He's a point guard. Y'all got Luka. Y'all need another point guard. He's a point guard.
Point guard. So
he's a point guard.
With the Laker talk.
As far as teams that would be willing to take him,
probably
nah. I think it'd be a good fit, Miami.
I think you need a team with a veteran coach, an established thing. I'd say if like Pop was still around, you'd go to San Antonio.
You got Eric Spoelstra in Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm adding to it. I think Miami's one of them. I think someplace like Golden State, in Boston where you have an established, I'm just saying. I'm just kind of look. I wouldn't have him anywhere. I'm just saying the only place he could go is like.
Look, I'm just gonna be real with you. My dad do not like his ass. I'm just being real. He said he acts like a kid. He said he acts too much like a kid. He said he understands that. He's on. I think he's like 25, 26 years old. He said, but when you keep just doing stupid crap, it's just like. And he's not. Look, and if you really want me to be honest, he's not one of these underprivileged kids. He didn't grow up as an underprivileged kid. He grew up he went to prep school.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah, he went to prep school. I'm like, what the hell are you acting a fool for?
Like, he went full Tupac.
He went full what?
Full Tupac. Like, Tupac went to like, he was, Juilliard, he went to, he was, in theater, and then he went like the complete opposite way. And like John Morant, like, went to prep school, and it was just like, all right, guys, I'm just gonna start being
NBA young boy.
Yeah, and you're just sitting going like, bro, like, who are you trying
to my city? Yeah,
like,
it's a party in my city. Yeah,
like, why? I don't. I just don't. I don't. I don't. That's the thing. Like this is where structure around somebody and a young kid getting a ton of money is a big thing, and who you have around a kid in general getting. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter if you came from from the hood or you came from a prep school. Like if you don't have sound structure around and good people around you to guide you and keep you grounded, things go to shit. And
Yeah,
they are.
and I remember Shannon Sharp criticizing his. I remember Shannon Sharp criticizing his father because he said, "Hey man, you got to be his father and not his friend."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
And,
you got
and there
invited
you
to the
go.
cookout.
And that's my point.
You got invited to the cookout, Flash.
Hey.
Damn.
I'm not a beer guy typically, but if you're gonna have beer, probably like, I guess since I'm a Wisconsin guy, Miller High Life. If you're gonna have anything, I'm a real simple dude. Just give me some vodka and Sprite, and I'm a happy guy.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, he need to really. I just look. He's a talented player.
Yeah.
He's the second come. If he really applies himself, he could be just as good, if not better, than Derrick Rose, if you ask me, because that's what his game looks like.
What I think the biggest thing
Go
with
ahead,
his
Dwayne.
game
Go
is
ahead, Dwayne.
why the biggest thing with his game though is he still hasn't improved his outside shooting. And that's still the biggest flaw in his game that keeps him from being talked about that kept him talked about as far as like among the elite point guards in the league, even though he was up there, he was still like, it was his outside shooting that still was kind of like his Achilles heel.
Mm-hmm. But now the game has changed again. It's not about outside shooting no more as a guard.
No,
That is true.
it's not it's going to slowly start trending the other way again. But you still need to develop like his mid range isn't that great.
Right.
He needs to develop like more of he's a just drive to the hole type. He's an athletic freak.
He's a Westbrook type of guy.
He's a Westbrook. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a Westbrook. So he needs to stop waving guns around and actually practice on like shooting. So I'm just being blunt. You need to stop being stupid and go. You need to go to
He need to quit worrying about shooting and start worrying about shooting.
Yeah, just dude. That's. I just. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm sitting here I'm a firm believer in that people need to get humbled in life. I think it's what makes you grow as a person. It's what makes you learn from your mistakes. The kid needs to be humbled. He just does. Whether that's like, I don't think suspending him one game is. Obviously he's been suspended multiple times now.
Yeah, he's been suspended multiple times. It's like
I just cut his ass.
And none of the times was he really in any trouble with the law.
No. That's the difference of when I was talking about. There's like a different type of crazy, like and where it's like tolerable. And the thing is that like I'll give you an example. Like I said before, Dennis Rodman. You look at that interview or multiple interviews when Jordan talks about Dennis Rodman. As much as Michael Jordan wanted to kill him when they were playing together at times, but Rodman busted his ass and worked harder as hard as everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and that's the difference. Are you working as hard as everybody else to improve yourself and improve the team around you? And as the the face of the franchise, and that's what the coach is saying. Like, dude, if you're going to be the face of the franchise, you need to be better, and he's just not doing that. So the NBA is going to treat John Morant like AI. What do you mean that?
He's not on AI's level, Dwayne.
Allen Iverson. My brain's going like AI. Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know AI took on a different meaning since we were younger. But plus hey man, you got to give us questions because we got we geriatrics. But
I don't.
I don't think he's not on AI's level, to be honest with you. And the reason why that was is the thing is, at that time, you really can't compare him to AI because at that time, what AI was doing in the court of public opinion was not cool. It was not.
Well,
Everybody,
it
no.
was
Wait a minute.
it was cool in the aspect he was counterculture.
Yeah, he was counterculture, but the thing is, as far as everybody was used to the professionalism of a Michael Jordan, everybody was used to the professionalism of a Dr. J and guys like that, Kobe Bryant and guys like that. And the thing is, it wasn't a black and white issue because guess what? Even black reporters was calling AI thuggish. And
Yeah.
it wasn't the usual suspects back then. It wasn't just Jason Whitlock. It was a hell of a lot of more of these reporters. In fact, the ironic thing about that, the only person who always came to bat for AI was Stephen A. Smith. That's the ironic thing. He was essentially to AI what Ahmad Rashad was to Michael Jordan. That's the thing.
And it's crazy you mentioned that too, because a lot of people looking at him as like, just counterculturing against the grain. That right there is exactly why I have Allen Iverson in my Mount Rushmore as far as influential NBA personalities, because look at what happened after that. How the clothing changed, how everything changed, the accessories you wore on the court, the tattoos, just everything. That's why Allen Iverson is on my Mount Rushmore as far as influential NBA personalities, because of what he did for the outlook as far as the fashion and the culture and everything as far as the NBA was concerned, that whole, I would say that decade of the 2000s, because everything after that was because of Allen Iverson.
Yeah. But as far as going back to Dwayne's question of do you think the NBA is going to treat him like AI, you really can't compare him to AI because nowadays, a lot of things that was not accepted back then are accepted. They're accepted.
Yeah, like tattoos and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that was. I mean, that was. Yeah. Now everybody's got tattoos.
Yeah. The things that being, trying to be an entertainer while you're playing in the NBA, now that's accepted. Back then, even with Shaq did it was not popular. Making rap albums, back then it wasn't popular. Remember the Jules album BRF that AI made that never came out? Yeah. So, yeah, it was
Shoot, Kobe Bryant made an album.
with Brian McKnight.
Kobe Bryant made an album.
He actually made a song with Tyra Banks too. You know that? Remember KOBE? That was priceless. But,
I was reminded that Deion Sanders made an album too. There's a lot of
but like I said,
Must Be the Money is still one of my favorite songs of all time. I don't care how bad he sounded.
I listened to that like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this shit's terrible.
I don't care how bad he sounded. That is still one of my favorite beats ever. I love that beat. I love it.
Nostalgia-wise, it's a great song.
It is. It really is.
If I take my complete childhood and nostalgia out of it, that shit's terrible.
I'm not. I still enjoy the song to this day. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even taking the childhood and the nostalgia out of it. I think it was a banging song. I can't help it. I like it. That's just Deion being Deion. You know he sound like he need to be on auto tune, but it's okay. It was still a good song.
Yeah. What's so funny about that record? When, like I stated, back then a lot of things were not popular. Y'all remember who? Do y'all remember who criticized Deion Sanders for making that album? Because he dissed him on the album.
I can't remember. Shoot.
It wasn't a reporter.
Was it Jerry Jones?
No. The person who criticized him for making that album and in fact got dissed on that album for making music and doing all of that was Spike Lee.
Really?
Spike Lee.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Spike Lee criticized Deion for being too cocky, too arrogant. That's not too. People think when cockiness and things come, people think it's a black-white thing. No, it's really a counterculture thing. It's like a degree of professionalism type of thing. People always want to play the R card when that's not the case.
Oh, well, you can go back to Joe Namath and Paul Hornung.
Oh man, that
Back in
damn
the
Paul
60s,
Horning.
dude.
But I would have loved to have been on the team with Paul Horning,
Dude,
bro.
Paul Horning.
Joe Namath on the sideline wearing fur coats and stuff. Like, bro,
I would have loved to be on the team with Paul Horning, bro. Because
Dude, Paul Horning was like people don't know. Paul Horning was as an apt last name. I'll just put it that way.
yeah, because that dude. No, because I remember he was. I remember Charlie Taylor said he was a great job of conducting himself off the field. And he had to, and he laughed during that damn interview. He was like,
man, Joe Namath on the sideline back in the day wearing them fur coats on the sideline, boy, looking like Pelafly. Like, come on, man.
And again, you're coming through an era or off of an era when Namath starts to rise. You came off the era of Johnny Unitas.
yeah, the professional.
Unitas was the flat top, military, no nonsense field general.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is Cam's point. It's not the R card. There's nothing. This is just
counterculture.
It's just counterculture. That's what it is. It's always been this way. It has nothing to do with
the R card.
Yeah,
the thing is, people always talk about what do people have against hair. The thing is, back in the 70s and the 60s, when you had long hair, they considered you a damn hippie.
Dude, having a mustache back then was not.
No, I'll never forget. I'll say this live on the air because hell, I don't give a damn what this somebody else. I remember my dad. I remember I had a beard at one point, and it was like right after a certain incident happened in the early 2000s. And a certain incident happened in the early, and I had a full beard. That shit got long, a little bit long. And I remember my dad throwing a razor on my bed. He said, "Shave that shit off your face. You look like a terrorist." And he said, "You look like a terrorist." I was like,
it bothered my grandmother.
That's how old guys was back in those days.
Hey, it bothered my grandmother to her last day that I always had like a beard or facial hair or something like that, or I had longer hair or whatever. It always bothered. Like, you need to, you look so handsome, clean shaved, and blah blah blah. And she's like, "Why do you keep growing your hair out?" And I go, and at the time, she passed away a couple of years ago or whatever, but I'm a 39-year-old man, and I can still grow out hair like I'm 22. So you know what? I'm going to take my blessing, and I'm going to keep going with it. But that's how it's just different.
Counterculture.
It's just counterculture.
Like I said, back then when AI was in his era, it wasn't popular to be counterculture. Now it is. It's good to be anti-establishment nowadays. I liked it better when it was not cool. And
now you could argue that the pendulum is swung.
Yeah.
That now to be more and when I say conservative, I don't mean politically. I mean, we could go that route, but I don't want to. But that more wear a suit and tie. That's more counterculture now.
Yeah, because look how they attacked Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah, look how they attacked Russell Wilson.
I'm just saying. So it's weird how that pendulum swings, because now now the pendulum is swinging more towards no, you need to show up and be professional. You need to show up in a suit and tie and blah blah blah. That's counterculture now, and so it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's the thing. I was like, people always call Russell Wilson corny at a certain. I'm like, well, damn. I wonder how Doug Williams and Warren Moon would have been perceived in this damn day and age.
Yeah,
and, those guys, they walked around, they tucked their shirt tucked in their pants, and all that shit that they learned and that we learned in high school and all of that. So yeah, it's not like when AI was in the NBA. Now counterculture is well received, I will say. But yeah, I mean, I still cannot get over BRL's face when I said, he got spent. He was just looking at the camera like this motherfucker. But yeah, man, Ja, you got to get it together, brother. You got to get it together. You got to get it together. I can see one real dumb team making a swing at him, and because they're notorious for throwing money at players, and that team would be the Phoenix Suns.
Why would they do that?
The Suns. It's the Suns. Remember, they had an ultimate super team on paper when it came to Bradley Beal, Devin Booker and damn Kevin Durant didn't do not one. They ain't even in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ultimate and no defense.
Yeah, the ultimate offense and no defense. Yeah, so yeah, I can see the Suns making to try to pair him up with Devin Booker, but that's about all I can see. I don't really see a team that's really in contention making a run to go get Ja at this point. So, and hey, he'll be
Y'all already y'all already did like your I guess all the NFL stuff like the quick hits and everything.
No, we didn't. We did the Dodgers
No,
first.
we're waiting on you.
Okay.
I got a quick wait. I got one quick question.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'd want them, but if you're the Milwaukee Bucks right now, and you got limited ability to move, and you're trying to keep Giannis there,
You just went and got Miles Turner this year and signed him to a big contract in order to take a lot of pressure off of.
I think you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think Giannis would welcome a John Morant trade to keep him there. I'm not even gonna lie. I think he'd welcome it.
because here's the thing. Because I honestly think that if John Morant did anything stupid, I think Giannis would slap the shit out of him.
Like he did that dude at the Olympics. I mean, at the FIBA game, slapped the hell out of him.
Yeah, I think Giannis wouldn't take no bullshit from that kid.
Kind of like that Hakeem Olajuwon, Vernon Maxwell factor.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, because y'all heard the story. Vernon Maxwell was spitting on the floor. He said, "Show some respect. No spitting on the damn floor." The dude kept spitting on the damn floor. Hakeem Olajuwon hauled off, slapped shit out of him.
Yeah, Vernon Maxwell was like, but he was like, "Fuck you too, Dream," and all of a sudden,
wow. He said, he said the only thing I see that big ass head go right across my
I have to say, so like, there are certain things that like certain sports have. I think former NBA players are the best storytellers out of all of the leagues of like when you have players that talk about stories. I think the NBA players are the best at telling stories. I just think they are. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I just think that the stories that they have are so funny and so good. Like the Garnett and Isaiah Ryder one when Isaiah Ryder is actually playing real well and Garnett's a rookie and he's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you just keep going." And Isaiah Ryder's like, "Dude, bro, don't." And Jordan's just like all of a sudden standing there like.
And he said, "I never forget how he said. He said it got bad quick.
It got bad quick. I don't remember the last 5 minutes. Like we were up by 5, now we're down by 15." And dude, like I'm telling you, like I could listen to those guys, like Reggie Miller and Magic Johnson and Garnett. Like those guys tell stories like no other. Like I love listening to those guys tell stories. So yeah, that's just totally. I love it. But I now that I think about it, I wouldn't want it. But there's not a lot of players I think that could handle him. He needs. I'll put it this way: besides a franchise, he needs a player that's above him, that is no nonsense to keep him in line. That's the whole reason why Rodman worked out in Chicago. He had Jordan above him,
and in Detroit,
Yeah, Dumars, and Isaiah. So it's like you had, that's the. Yeah, that'd be interesting. But anyways, yeah. All right.
Yes or no question before we move on to the quick hits, real quick before we do the quick hits in order to end the show. Do you think that this should motivate the NBA at this point to go back to the way it was, to have these young men developed in college before they come to the league?
Yes,
because these guys are coming out one and done. They have to be developed at a certain point, and some of them avoid development because they're always in the damn transfer portal. Now it's just, they're coming in underdeveloped, underprepared, and now you're getting suspended every other damn year, and then you go. I mean, it's so funny about that draft class. Him and the draft class between him and Zion Williamson, that draft class needs to be studied because you got Ja Morant, he can't put guns down, and you got the other guy, he just can't put them wisdom teeth down. So that has to be studied. I mean, I'm just being real. That just has to be studied, in my humble opinion. That must be studied.
What did I do? I started that. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I started it all.
I'm just being very, very honest. That has to be studied because, damn, that's nasty. So yeah, that has to be studied at a certain point. I've never seen two first round picks that was picked back to back just have that much damn trouble in their careers. I mean, they always in the news about some dumb shit. I mean, when you think about, you think about Jordan and Hakeem and those guys, even when you think about that 96 draft class, with
but do you think the Zion thing? Okay, I think the Zion thing is a little different. Like, I look at Zion as the kid that, like, okay, how do I compare it?
let's just be all the way above. I'm gonna say it for you. Zion reminds me of that damn basketball player who was really a fucking lame, and guess what? He started getting that money, and he became more lame. That's just how it is. Because who in there right there? Look, if you gonna spend some money on something, spend some money on something. If you get what I'm trying to say, don't spend that damn money on that.
But see, like Zion seems like that kid that like grew up playing video games his whole life, and all he saw for women was like Pornhub, and then he got money, and then he was like, "That's what women is." And then he's like the kid that was like that gets hugged once by a girl. Is like, "That's my girlfriend." Like, he's like that lame, which is weird because one, he's not a bad looking dude. Two, he's super talented, obviously. He's got money. He's just a dork. And I don't mean that like in a compliment way, like he's just
there's Travis Hunter level dorky, and then there's his level of dorkiness. Because Travis Hunter, at least, he's a nerd, but he's doing things the right way. He's just trying to do things the right way. When you look at Zion, it's just like, what the hell are you doing? You can't stay out the restaurants, and you can't stay out for Pornhub. What the hell is wrong with you?
It's so
weird. Because the one he got in trouble with, boy, he waited about 5 years too late on that one.
Exactly. So you just an eating gooner at this point.
It's just like, well, who was the girl he got in trouble with again?
Mariah Mills.
Yeah, and it was like 5 years too late.
At least, maybe more.
That's like me. That's okay. This is like recent, but that'd be like me hooking up with Sonny now. Like,
hell no.
That's
a great comparison. Damn.
That's not a pat on the back now.
That's a great comparison. Cause damn.
That nasty hell.
Ooh, boy.
I still maintain that she's still the best looking woman to ever walk into wrestling in her prime. In her prime. She's still the best.
It's a debate between her, Sable, Trish. I think it's a debate between those three. Me personally, I would take Trish Stratus, to be honest with you. But I think it's a debate between those three.
I think based on just pure looks,
without all the
96 to 98, Sonny.
Yeah, without all the technology, she was a natural. So,
she was. I
mean, 2000 Trish though.
Oh, I know. Dude, I'm not like sneezing. Dude, she's my main childhood crush. I get it. I'm just saying, prime Sunny is something else. Like 97 Sunny, like smoking guns, and then right before she went away, when she
went to ECW. Before she went to ECW.
Yeah, when she did that last real quick stint with the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
LOD.
Like smoking guns, Sunny is.
Before they pulled that slop on her.
I'd have been. I still would have hit it, even with the slop on her. That'd have been fine. Although the story behind that bucket, though, what was in it, maybe not.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I gotta say the second, like, not league, but second, like, whatever would be wrestlers and telling stories, and that story is gross. Yeah, that poor girl on so many levels.
You know what? Who's an annoying fan base as we segue into football? You know who's an annoying fan base, man? I'm just gonna be real. The Kansas City Chiefs fans. They are the most annoying ass fans ever. They worse than Cowboy fans. Because whenever you say something about the Kansas City Chiefs, you are hater. Look, I literally said this last week. I said the Chiefs have not beaten a team of consequence other than Detroit. Lo and behold, they go out there and get their ass whooped today by the Bills. And then I said, I told y'all they have not beaten anybody of any consequence. Well, the playoffs, you're 5-4. What are you talking about? You're 5-4. You're in the hunt. What are we talking about here? If y'all don't make the playoff, I'm going to laugh at y'all. I am going to laugh. So, yeah. Because right now, they're third in their division right now. They're behind
behind Denver and the Chargers, which is crazy.
I'm looking at the conference standings right now.
Yeah.
They are 7 teams make the playoffs now?
7 make it, yes.
So they're in the 8th spot right now.
Well, then, bro, if they ended the day, they wouldn't even make it.
Nope. No, right now.
Who would it be? So it would be. So the AFC East would the AFC East would get 2. They would get New England and Buffalo. AFC North would get Pittsburgh. AFC South would get Indy, and then the West would get Denver Chargers.
Yep.
So just in order, it'd be Indy, New England, Denver, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Los Angeles, and Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville 7. Oh yeah, Jacksonville is a 7 seed. Okay, so the South will get 2 squads. Okay.
I just want to point out right now with we were talking about how Baltimore was done. They're only 2 games out of the wild card.
Exactly. So yeah.
Look, because I think what's about to happen is Lamar. Look, I hate to tell people this, but Lamar Jackson about to crank up, so they might want to get ready.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna win no Super Bowl because they don't have the defense. Like I think us 3 could run through that defense.
Yeah, I think
that defense is terrible.
I think I could get like 20 yards.
Yeah,
that defense is bad.
On my bet, like you give me some yoga in the morning and and some whatever, I could probably get a yard or 2 maybe.
Yeah, yards.
I can get a yard, but I wouldn't be shocked if they sneak into the playoffs though.
Yeah,
that wouldn't shock me at all.
Let's go to the quick hits real quick. Goat of the week.
Even though they lost today, shout out Joe Flacco. New career high in passing yards, 470 yards and 4 scores. If I'm Joe Flacco, I'm looking at that Cincinnati Bengals defense, and I want to take my backhand to every single one of them. Brought them back. Chicago had already put up 41 on them. Still comes back, takes the lead only for them to give up a 50-plus yard passing play to a tight end. Granted, Colston Loveland is an athletic tight end, but you gave up a 58-yard pass play to a tight end to lose.
They
If
made
I'm Joe
Caleb
Flacco,
Williams competent.
geez, Caleb Williams went the heck off today. I'm slapping all of them for that performance. And that was the one thing I couldn't get behind. That's why I wasn't really behind on the Bengals. I knew with that defense.
Yeah.
And they're just showing themselves. That defense is trash. God awful.
Yeah.
God awful.
Yep.
Flash.
I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, causing 6 turnovers and just running roughshot and holding off on the Colts, making a little bit of a comeback at the end of the game. Kind of because it's going with my prediction that they were going to win the division. It was going to be them or Cincinnati. So I'm going to say that you knock off the number 1 seed right now in the AFC. Rodgers is quietly having a really good year. So I'm going to say the Pittsburgh defense.
Pittsburgh defense. Okay. My turn. Christian McCaffrey tied Marshall Faulk's record today of only the second running back to score a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown in the same game. And he's silently on pace to have another 1,000 year.
Yep.
He's silently on pace to have another 1,000 year. If you really look at the stats at this point in time, he's on that pace. It's right now. Let me go to the stats real quick. I just had them up here. Sorry to the audience and sorry to my peeps right here. Right now, Christian McCaffrey Hold on. He has 596 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. And that's just what he has in rushing. In receiving yards, he has 626 yards. And it gets better. He has 61 receptions.
Jesus Christ.
So he's not only on pace to go for over 1,000. He's on pace again to get over 100 receptions in that season. Because remember in that 1,000 season, he had 116 receptions in that season. So
that's insane.
He's on that type of time right about now. And he could very well break Steven Jackson's record as well. Remember, Steven Jackson was the first player to rush for over 1,500 yards. And, yeah, so he is on that type of time right about now. So I would look out for him. I don't think he'll win the MVP. I think that's still Jonathan Taylor's to lose at this point if they give it to the running back. But this year is the year of the running back. I truly believe that. This is probably the best year we're going to see out of running backs this year. I believe we're going to see another 1,000 year, and I really believe we're going to see a 2,000-yard season out of Jonathan Taylor this year. I really believe that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the year of the running back, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see. But, yeah, Christian McCaffrey is that guy, and I'm happy to see that. Biggest red flag of the week, I'm going first. Zach Robinson, get your ass out of Atlanta. Get your ass out of Atlanta. Get your ass out of Atlanta and go to Canada. Because I'm getting sick of this predictable ass play calling and that damn kicker. Yeah. So, yeah, y'all need to get the hell out of here. Because the defense did their job. They sacked the quarterback 6 times. They forced 2 turnovers. And, yeah, the defense did their job. So you really can't blame the defense at this point. So, yeah. So
they held them to 3 points in the second half.
And you still couldn't win. So you got to – Zach Robinson, Yeah, gotta go. Flash.
I'm going to go with my hometown too. The Green Bay Packers, a big red flag. You let a Carolina Panther team that is a average football team walk into your home stadium and kind of, you know what, you just kind of threw the game away. Couldn't put the ball in the, you had multiple times in the red zone. You couldn't put the ball in the end zone. Like, this shouldn't even been a close game, and yet you let that team just hang around, and you effed around and found out. But to Dwayne's point, though, that running back, boy, is he good.
Rico Dowdle.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, took Chuba Hubbard's position.
Yeah. But besides that, yeah, that'd be my big red flag as the Green Bay Packers. You went from literally 1 week, everybody talking about how Jordan Love is the next blah 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 blah, and that this is another Super Bowl winning team, to you just played like ass. So yeah, that's mine.
BR.
I'm gonna stick with the Atlanta Falcons theme, but I'm gonna go with our fan base because I can't stand y'all. I can't stand y'all. I cannot stand y'all. And this ain't the champ. I can't stand y'all. Y'all gave Desmond Ridder a longer leash than what y'all are doing with Michael Penix Jr. right now. Y'all getting on my nerves. This was his 10th game as a starting quarterback, and now it's like, oh man, I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's. This dude literally threw 3 touchdowns today. Did he have a bonehead intentional grounding call? Yes, but that story came out was apparently the New England Patriots were simulating the snap count, which you're not supposed to do. Like, apparently they were clapping on that early snap, which drew the intentional grounding. You're not supposed to do that on the defensive side of the ball. And it must have been some smoke to it, because him and the offensive line was pointing at the defense, saying that they were simulating the snap count. So Ryan Newsel heard the clap, thought it was Penix to snap the ball before he was ready. So, but anyway, y'all gave Desmond Ridder an entirely longer leash than y'all are giving Michael Penix, and Desmond Ridder couldn't hold Michael Penix Jr.'s jockstrap playing the quarterback position. Y'all need to shut up and realize what the real problem is down here, and that is Zach Robinson's inability to call a consistent game. And Raheem Moore, and it's on Raheem Morris too, because his clock management skills are just they are bordering levels of Mike Smith when he got fired. They might be worse. There is no reason you should be calling a timeout. There's no reason you should be calling a timeout after the defensive team gets a penalty like that. You shouldn't be calling a timeout. You should have a play ready to go for the offense. But it's like, look, I get it, y'all. Y'all want a winner down here. Y'all want a consistent winner down here. I understand that. I get it. I'm a Falcons fan. I would love. Hey, trust me. We've gone through this pretty much since 2021 with a team with the talent, but it's like we can't get over the hump. We can't get to the playoffs. I've seen it. But here's the thing, though. The fact that some of y'all are out here literally trying to question whether Michael Penix is the guy or not, when this dude literally led us down the field for what should have been a game-tying touchdown drive, y'all chill. Y'all need to chill. Like I said, Desmond Ridder got a longer leash than what Michael Penix is getting, and that's a shame. Y'all need to chill. Y'all need to chill. It is what it is. They're 3-5. We're stuck with Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson for at least through the rest of the season. Y'all just going to have to get through it. But I'm telling you right now, quick question to Michael Penix Jr. He's a good player. He is a good player. And considering what New England was doing to him as far as being able to get pressure on him, we lost Chris Lindstrom and Matthew Bergeron got hurt today. They both got hurt today. And the fact that man was still able to drive down the field, and shout out to Drake London. 9 catches, 119 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I've been saying this dude's a top 10 receiver. Hey, well, Luis said, I'm shouting out Luis because Luis been on the Drake London bandwagon too. Shout out to Luis because obviously he saw something and I saw something that not a lot of people weren't looking.
And that's
saying that Drake London's a top 10 receiver in the league. Drake London is in the top 10 conversation. Y'all just need to let that go because he showed up today.
and
But
he big as hell
Falcons,
too, though. That's a big ass dude. I've
yeah,
never that's wow.
Drake,
That's a big ass
Drake
dude.
London is every bit of 6'4", 215 pounds. Every bit of it. And he goes, I mean, that one play where Mike throws it deep and he mossed Christian Gonzalez like that, I was like, yeah, y'all need to shut up about Drake. But Falcons fan base, get off of Michael Penix's back and let that boy continue to develop and get better because it's obvious he's not going to do it with Zach Robinson. So let's get a true offensive coordinator or fire Raheem Morris after the season and get an offensive head coach and let's see what he can do with actual competent play calling because it's obvious that this ain't going to do it. Let me tell you something, and I'm saying this to everybody. If we mess around, I will honestly be more upset. I don't want us to lose. But if we if we found a way to sneak in the playoffs this year, and we have to go through another year, Raheem Morris, at this point, I'd literally be like, Jesus Christ. But with that, with that being said, Falcons fan base, get off of Michael Penix Jr.'s back. Get off his back. Get off his back and let that boy play and let that boy develop. We actually got something here, and y'all sitting here acting like he's not the guy. Come on, y'all. Get a grip, people. Get a grip. There are bigger things going on right now than how Michael Penix Jr. played today. Like y'all need to look at that. Y'all need to look at that head coach, and y'all need to look at the offensive coordinator. Put all y'all venom into them because this team is not going to go anywhere with that head coach and that OC. And it's a shame for Jeff Ulbrich because I feel like if they get fired, he's going to go too. And I feel like he has earned every right to be our defensive coordinator in 2026.
Yes, indeed. I would mind seeing Mike McDaniels being the offensive coordinator. I wouldn't want him to
I
see
would
him.
not mind that either. He is going to be, if he gets fired from Miami, he's probably going to be like the hot commodity. Atlanta's going to want him the minute he gets fired. The Falcon fans are going to want him to be the OC.
Yeah,
And I mean, it's understandable because he might not be the greatest head coach, but we know he can call some offense. So if we don't make the playoffs and he gets fired, I think he's going to be the guy. Everybody's like, okay, go get Mike McDaniel. So because I mean, he was on that Falcon staff that went to the Super Bowl. So we'll see.
yes, indeed. So we know who the biggest loser of the week is for B is Atlanta. I'm pretty sure that's the same for you, BRF. Who's the biggest
Actually,
loser?
no. No. The Atlanta's not the biggest loser for me from the standpoint they actually showed up and played well. So I'm not going to call them the biggest loser, even though they lost. They're not the biggest loser for me. The biggest loser for me is the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Come on, bro. Like, what are y'all doing? Here we are coming into the season. Oh man, y'all finally got some book. Y'all got bookend. You got Trey Hendrickson. You got Shamar Stewart. We thinking you might do something. Yeah, okay. Y'all are worse than you were last year, and that's saying something. If I'm Trey Hendrickson, I'm trying to find the first ticket up out of there. I'm trying to get traded pronto because this ain't gonna get it done. This
Can
defense
you,
is this defense is capital T trash. They're horrible. I have never in my life seen a team not blow back to back games the way they've done the Jets
mm,
and this week the Chicago Bears
mm,
to put up the amount of points that they put up and to still lose both games. The last two games, Cincinnati is averaging 40 points a game. They lost both games.
mm. Flash?
Sorry, I had to make a phone call. What was the question?
Who's your biggest loser of the week, brother?
Oh man. I'm going to stick with your Atlanta Falcons. I am on record on this show saying a couple weeks ago that I thought they had the makings of a Super Bowl contender, and they have just like made me look stupid. So thank you. I don't get me wrong. It makes me feel good that my Patriots, man, damn, they're looking good. Just saying, like, oof, they're looking
Mike
good.
Vrabel is coach of the year.
Easy. That's not even I don't think it's even a question. It's just easy.
It's out of him and Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
It's Mike Vrabel. It's Mike Vrabel.
It's Vrabel. Because I don't think anybody expected this team to be. Nobody expected this team to win the division. Like, there was.
I expected them to contend for a playoff spot, not be 7-2.
Yeah, maybe play for a wild card spot, maybe. But even I thought, I'm like, because I hadn't seen enough out of Drake May yet to go like, yep, I feel pretty good about this. And they're the number 2 seed right now. Now, don't get me wrong, we got a whole half of a season to go, but still, like, yay. But yeah, your Falcons are ass. Thanks for making me look stupid, because I just.
Well, look, nobody told Zach Robinson to call them damn high school offensive games. Hey, I mean, what can we do? I mean, they came out and played the defensive game, one of the defensive games of the year against the Buffalo Bills. We had every right to be excited. We didn't expect them to come out in like 3. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call this week laying an 8 because the defense showed up, but I'm not expecting all the talent we have on offense and then Zach Robinson act like it's like it's one of those things where you have all these toys and you don't know what the hell to do with them. It's basically what's going on. Zach Robinson has no idea. It's like he's in over his head as an offensive coordinator.
He about worse than Arthur Smith, if you ask me. But anyway, let's end the show off. Who's the biggest surprise of the week?
Biggest surprise of the week.
Caleb Williams. I did not expect him to come out here and put up 47 points. Help them put up 47 points.
And the Cincinnati, it ain't that shocking.
But still, 47 points. And then the game-winning touchdown. 3 touchdowns.
All right, was this him just playing? That was my big question. Is this his coming out party, or is this just the Bengals are that flipping bad?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm hoping after this he kind. I honestly think it's more of a byproduct that this was Cincinnati's defense he was going up against.
I think so too, because I watched some of that game. Look,
He tried to play hero ball too much.
I think Caleb Williams sucks.
I don't think he sucks, but
for what he's supposed to be, he sucks. If he was a 3rd round draft pick, I'd be like, he's all right. But this dude was literally the best prospect we were supposedly seeing since Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck. He's for that. I don't think he's. I'm starting to. I just don't see it. I don't see what we're supposed to see, and I just don't know. I don't think he's good, and I don't think he's gonna be. I know I'm Mr. Patience guy, but I just don't think he's good. I just don't.
See, I still think jury's still out on him a little bit. I ain't gonna say he's never gonna be good. I still think jury's out on him because I'll give him a little bit of grace because this is the first year under Ben Johnson's offense, so I will give him a little grace. I'll give him a little grace. My surprise of the week, I would probably. Gotta think about this one. Probably, you know what? Yeah, Carolina going to Lambeau and beating Green Bay. Granted, Green Bay hasn't been playing like, lights out. But Carolina. But then again, I kind of said Carolina's gonna be one of them teams that might sneak up on you. I think they're 5-3 right now.
5-4. 5-4.
They're 5-4 right now. So
but you're right. like when you watch them, you're like, this team isn't good. Bryce Young stinks. But then they somehow are still in the game, and they muddy the water and play ugly football, and they bring you down into that water, and then all of
Exactly.
a sudden you're like, oh shit, like, and then, yep,
Next thing you know, they're beating you.
they're kicking a field goal with
They do just enough to lull you to sleep
Yep,
before they take you out. They do enough to lull you to sleep before they take you out.
yep,
That's pretty much Carolina Panthers in a nutshell. They do enough to take you out.
yes, sir.
Yep, it's crazy. But I do have one question. Panthers are in between a rock and a hard place right about now, and I'll tell you why. I think Bryce Young is on his last year in that contract. I really do. Let me do a double check just to make sure.
He might have one more, but
He should, let's see, rookie contract. He should have one more year.
Yeah, he has one more. He has two more. Well, he has 2 more years.
oh,
You're
two more?
between a rock and a hard place, if you ask me, because the thing is, do you really want to make the same mistake that the Jacksonville Jaguars have made, and that the Miami Dolphins have made?
No,
Really want to
you
slide?
do. You do not pay him before that. You do not extend him before that rookie contract is over. You let him play at least through next year before you even think about extending that rookie contract.
Yes.
He has next year, and then the 5th year is the club option year. It's the dreaded club option year.
Yeah.
So you got to let him play through next year before you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Think about giving him decent money.
Because he.
Yeah. And even then, I'm not offering you $200 million. I'm offering you 90.
Hell no.
I'm offering you like 90
It's
for 3 years.
no. I'm giving him this year and next year, even before we start talking 5th-year team option.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not giving you Baker Mayfield or anybody that type of money. We're going to be talking in the ballpark range of 90 million, 3 years, 4 years, 90 million. One of them early 2000s contracts, because the main focal point of this team is the running game.
He can get a nice shiny nickel from me. That's about it.
Yeah. You remember what's that song, that Christmas song that they came out with? Bought some gum with a penny slug. Somebody snitched on me. I'll pay you a couple of slugs.
He has a cupcake and a nickel.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But yeah, I'm not finna pay you that type of money. And look, these teams need to start taking notice when this comes to this as well. Because it's just like, look, stop being so damn thirsty because you think this is the only quarterback that you're ever going to find. There is a such thing as having a mediocre quarterback, and you don't have to pay him that damn much.
Well, here's the other thing too. This is what I always was a firm believer of what like the Packers used to do, and that's like you draft a development quarterback every single year or almost every year because you never know. Oh, I like this kid in the 6th round. I'm just going to draft him real quick.
Y'all did that.
What?
At one point, I'll never forget, y'all had a very good developmental system. Y'all had Mark Brunell,
Aaron
Brett Favre, and Matt Hasselbeck on the same damn roster. That was funny.
And during that same time, we churned out Aaron Brooks. I mean, Kurt Warner had a cup of coffee with us too. Like,
yeah,
Matt Hasselbeck. Like, I'm always a firm believer in basically, you draft a quarterback every single year, unless you got even if you have a franchise guy, like you just
never know who might get hurt.
Just never know. And if I'm Carolina right now, like next 2 years, I'm drafting dude late, or if by shit chance somebody falls to you that's like franchise guy, of course I'm debating it, but
Yeah, man, I agree. But yeah, you're not gonna pay him that contract. Any final words, my peeps?
Yes. Watching tonight's game. The Seattle Seahawks need to go back to their 80s and early 90s uniforms.
Oh, you talking the Free Willy uniforms?
Yeah, those are way better uniforms than what they have now. And Washington needs to keep their colors, but either go back to the old logo and change and change the name to something else, or just get a completely different logo in general, because that W sucks as a logo.
The Cowboys. Bills Mafia is a hell of a fan base.
The Buffalo Bills are a great fan base.
They're
not obnoxious yet.
They never were. They never were a very, very obnoxious fan base.
There's not a lot of losing franchises that have like bad fan bases. The only one that I can think of are the Cubs. Cubs fan base is terrible.
Yep. BRF.
Today was definitely, I feel like, one of those if you're an NFL defense, a day like today should make you like look in the mirror today, because been a lot of points scored today.
Yeah.
So if I'm an NFL defense, I'm like, I'm working extra hard in the lab this week preparing for the next game, because these offenses are lighting y'all up right now. Lighting y'all up.
The film room is not going to be pretty. And Jackson Smith-Njigba on the road to 2,000 yards. He is 70 yards away from 1,000.
Already?
Yeah, he's 70 yards away from 1,000.
He's a rookie this year, right?
No.
Third year.
Oh, third year. Okay.
Third year.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, he is 70 yards away from 1,000 yards.
That's insane.
As a matter of fact, hold on, let me take a look at their schedule at this point. As a matter of fact, next week they have the Cardinals, big game. Then 2 weeks from now they have the Titans, and then they have the Panthers a couple of weeks from now. He could very well cross that threshold of the 2,000 yard mark. But yeah, I digress. I don't know who's watching right about now. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. And look, to the Washington Commanders, please draft Jaden Daniels a damn offensive line, because good God, this nasty. On that note, man, God loves you. So do we. God bless you. And guess what? Keep your nose clean. Stay on the straight and narrow. Holla at your boy.
All right, everybody.